Hey everyone. So I know I posted a video and then a song. A lot has been happening behind the scenes. A lot of things that some I'll be able to touch on tonight. Others I will not, as they're still in process. So God has not released me to speak about them. However, there is something that He wants me to address. There was a person who posted to my page. But I'm going to go back in reverse to where this started. So the individual posted to Tara's page, questioning her ability to discern, her ability to speak on the subjects that she was speaking. And I did not provide any elaborate response. All I said is I love the note that God wrote for you. And this individual then proceeded to attack me for supporting Tara and saying that if I'm not able to verify where this information came from, then I don't know what I'm speaking about. And I, because I was working, I didn't see this notification until late in the night. I was just about to leave for the night. I was about to Uber home, and as I was waiting for the Uber, God led me to, before, let me back up. This was around 10:30, 10:45. I hadn't looked at my phone for a while, and suddenly he unctioned me, said, check the phone. So I did, and I saw the notification about this gentleman making a comment. And I didn't get angry. I just prayed. I said, Father, I will do as you ask. If you want me to respond to this individual, then provide me the words that I will need to say to this person so that they understand that it is from you. I said, if not, if you do not wish that I respond to this individual, then I leave it in your hands. Let it be your will be done, not mine. So I'm on my way home, and God reminded me of this person posted. And when I searched the post for the post, like if you click on the post when someone posts to your comments, you can see what they said and under which video it was under. I couldn't find it. It wasn't there. I receive email notifications when people respond to my comments. It doesn't matter if it's on my page or if it's on anyone else's. I still get that email response. I could not find anything within YouTube under any of the videos that this individual responded to. Now, and yes, tonight I am drinking wine. Father said that I have done well and that I deserve to enjoy a glass of wine or two or three, and I deserve to sleep in tomorrow. But I still have things I've got to get done, so I won't be sleeping in as much as I would like. But so I looked. I went to Tara's videos. Now, if she deleted the comment off of her page, I wouldn't know. But I knew that she hadn't, because it was also removed from my page and I hadn't done anything to it yet. And I don't remove them. I would have just responded whatever God would have wanted me to respond, if he wanted to respond. This is the first individual who had, well, no, the second individual who has commented something towards the things that I have videoed that, according to God, is what he wants me to do. And then, so I looked and I looked and I couldn't find it. And God confirmed to me that he convicted the individual and he required him to remove his posts. It wasn't anything Tara and I did. This was God. God said, delete what you said against my children. This isn't the first one. This isn't the last one. I had a dream when I was still in California, and I forgot about the dream until God had me looking for something else. And when I was looking for that, I found the dream about my current situation. In that dream, Father had showed me that there would be these mean girls. If any of you have ever seen the movie Mean Girls, it's of 3 girls who are run by one girl. And she dictates what the other 2 are going to like or dislike. She dictates what everyone around her is going to be able to do or not do, which clique they're going to be able to hang out in or not hang out in. And they have to fit whatever mold she puts them in or be shunned. And I completely forgot that God had given me this dream. Back then, I wasn't as good about writing up things that I had dreamt about because God didn't always lead me to. And part of that is because those dreams were for a future time when he would bring those dreams back to me and then he would have me write them down. And so in that dream, there was a popular boy who was older than the girls, and he liked the attention that these mean girls gave him. And when I came around, because I was new and I was interesting and I was beautiful in the dream, God says I'm beautiful. I'm still working on receiving that without being prideful, because it worries me, it scares me that I would be prideful and I would lose my father. That is the fear of God. That's the kind of fear he wants. That I would be cautious about the things that I desire, the things that I consider. Because if I consider them, then they won't ever be above him. Because nothing will ever take me away from him as long as I am conscious about thinking certain things. He has very much confirmed that I am beautiful, and I love him because he is the best of me, and I pray that I give him the best in return. And so I was thinking about that dream when I found the words, the writings that I did. I started thinking about the dream and about what it meant, and I started to relate it to my current situation. you see these mean girls use their sexuality to force the men near them to do what they wanted. They would, flirt with them, and they would talk sweet to them, but it didn't work that way with all of them. With the manager who hired me, it was talking about his kids, it was talking about his wife, and it was talking about how gorgeous she was and how hot she was and how jealous they were of her. But he knew enough to know that he would never want his wife anywhere near these girls, because he wasn't about to allow that to happen. And so I realized that this individual, the man, in the dream, he was like, hey, how's it going? I'm the hot guy in the high school. And I wasn't impressed. I told him, okay, have fun. I'm not interested. And there was another individual our age. And you gotta, this was all like high school, but it wasn't high school. These girls, because these girls are much, much younger. They're 20 years younger than me. The manager the general manager, who is the one who is the redeemer, the first redeemer, he is 40. The man that God has for me is about the same age, maybe a little bit older. But he is quieter, he is smarter, more reserved, more articulate, more like me. But he's not as popular in my dream. So I decide that I don't want this individual who is popular and only cares about his looks and only cares about his status, only cares about the women that are worshiping him. I want the man who cares about God, who cares about the things God cares about, who doesn't think of himself more than anything else, that is smart and articulate and kind of goofy like me sometimes. And so that's all happening. And then we end up, I'm realizing all this. And then as I'm realizing all this, Tanya, who is a member of Tara's group, she's one of Tara's subscribers. She happened to see a video of mine and she subscribed, and we have become like two peas in a pod. Tanya, you're amazing. I can't see my life without you now. So I pray God keeps us together for a long time, because you are just a ray of sunshine every day. I pray that I'm not overwhelming you with the number of texts I do. But I text as God leads me. And sometimes I have to put the brakes on him. But he's like, no, I want you to do it. Go, go, go. And it works with my persona, because I'm very much like that. I take what I feel. I take what he's putting in me. And I just go with it. And I don't stop. And so it's been a wonderful blossoming relationship. It's a friendship that I feel like it's going to go for a very long time. We're going to be in each other's lives. We're going to see each other's children. You're going to get to be there for the births of mine when it's the time. And I have a special place for Tara. Tara is like, I feel like the mother I never had. She is very poised and very put together, something that I strive to be, but I always fall short because the woman that raised me wasn't like that with me. And I grew up looking at TV shows and videos of families, and I modeled the behaviors, but I never actually learned them from someone who had the love and tenderness to teach me. And whew. And so this path has been such that I never thought that I would heal in this way. And Father has been confirming my path, my upcoming path, with not just to me. He's been showing Tanya, and she's been telling me, she's like, hey, look, this is what God showed me, and it's about you. And it's blowing my mind. It's the awe factor is like infinity right now. Every day I thank God. Every day I worship God. Every day I tell God, let it be your will and not mine. Let it be you who comes through and not me. And so something interesting happened in the last 2 days, and I had no idea that God was going to confirm this in this way. So I had been seeing words about respect and things like a change in attitude, a change in recognition, a change in acceptance. And I was like, I don't understand what that means. And I got the natural revelation of what that looks like yesterday as I was talking to the man who hired me. He ended up switching shifts with the general manager. So the general manager typically closes on Saturdays. But he wanted to go visit his mom up in a different part of the state. And he asked the assistant, hey, can you switch with me and you work my shift, I'll work your shift, and that way I can leave as soon as I get home. And of course the manager who hired me was like, yeah, sure, no problem, you can go ahead and go. And so when I found out that I was working with him, I was like, wait, you're closing tomorrow? He's like, yes, I am. And I was like, yes, yes. Because him and I have a similar attitude towards customer service. We have a similar attitude towards sales. We have a similar attitude to the atmosphere that we're trying to create within the store. And he's the reason I'm at this store to begin with, because his wife prayed. His wife asked God to intervene. I just haven't confirmed it yet because God hasn't led me to. But he knows he knows I'm a child of God because, one, I was singing gospel songs on a Sunday morning. Two, I'm always talking about God, but I haven't said God sent me. Not yet. So on Saturday, where he gives us direction. This is what I want. I want you here. I want you here. I want you here. I want you here. And I want you doing this and doing that. And I was like, okay. And so I gave the directive. I told everybody where they needed to be. Now, he's trying to use the other crew chief. That he's not a crew chief because he's not technically closing. Our crew chief does that. But he is supposed to be a manager in training. And so from 5 to 8, he was supposed to be out on the front counter running the show, telling people, go here, go there, go that, do this, do that, do la 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 la. Now, when I first started, I didn't know this, but this individual had just started at the store that I started. So I was teaching him how to use the computers. I was teaching him how to do orders. I was teaching him how to answer the phone. And it was only my third or fourth day. His name? Joseph. When I first started, I heard everybody else call him Jojo. So I went up to him and I said, what do you want me to call you? I said, do you want me to call you Jojo or do you want me to call you Joseph? This is how God works. He said, I want you to call me Joseph. I'm like, okay. I have not called him Jojo since that day. I call him Joseph. Hey, Joseph, can you help me here? And we talk all the time. And I didn't even realize that he holds me in high regards. I didn't realize until Saturday. So on Saturday, he's, running pizzas out and he's answering phones and he's helping on the register and he's doing this and he's doing that. And at the end of at 8 o'clock, when we had like a little bit of a lull, he finally went back to doing the sides and doing all the other stuff. And then he came up front, and it was probably more closer to like 9:30. He came up front and he goes, hey, I did pretty good today, huh? And I said, actually, or no, he didn't say that. He came up front and I was like, hey, Joseph, I just want to let you know, great job today. You did amazing. I said, you made the difference. You made a difference. And he goes, thanks. I think I still have a little bit to learn. And I said, you do. I said, the only suggestion I have for you is you need to be more directive. I said, you need to say, hey, you belong in this position. You need to stay there and assert yourself, because I think you tend to just jump in instead of making that individual, yes, jump in the moment, but make sure that individual who's supposed to be in that position goes to that position. And he's like, okay, yeah. And the man who hired me heard me say that to him. And he goes, yeah, be more assertive, be more directive, take control of the situation. Don't let it take control of you. And so I was like, okay. And so we're finishing. I'm getting finished up with my clothes and, getting things caught up. I was behind. This is how God works. I was behind. I was so behind. It was 9 o'clock at night and I didn't have half the restaurant done. Now, half the restaurant is carpet. That means that I have to sweep underneath the tables to get the big crumbs out, big stuff out, pick that up with the dustpan, and then I can come in with the vacuum and vacuum. The tables were all disarrayed. Tables still needed to be wiped out, but there were still people eating in that area, and I didn't want to shut it down until there was less people, because there was a big group. If they had been in a different part of that area, I would have done it, but because of the location they were in, I couldn't, because it would pose a tripping hazard, and I want to be conscientious of the safety of our customers and the safety of our employees. So finally I get that half of the house done, and I went and I talked to the manager and I said, hey, I just want you to know the changes that you've made, they are freaking working. And he goes, okay. And he goes, this was the smoothest night. I'm like, well, we had a couple hiccups, unfortunately. And he goes, yeah, we did, but for the most part. I said, yeah, for the most part, it was good. And I said, the only thing was that people didn't stay in their position. And he goes, yeah, I know. And I said, and that's going to take time. That's fine. We can work with that. And I said, I did tell Joseph that he did a phenomenal job running the front and making sure that everybody stayed on task. I said, the only thing I did tell him is that he needs to be more directive, and he needs to be more assertive. And Joseph was standing right there, so it wasn't like I was talking behind his back or anything like that. And Cody's the manager who hired me. He turns to Joseph and he says, you know what, she's right. You need to be more assertive. You need to take control. You need to ensure that the people that you're over understand that you're in control of the situation. And I said, yeah, because things can get out of control very quickly. And so that went on. And then the crew chief was actually working with Cody in the back kitchen as a regular staff member. And he wasn't really pushing too hard, just doing enough to get the job done. And Cody was getting upset because he's not really moving. He's not really doing the things that he needs to do. And so at the end of the night, when he sends him home, I ask him, how did Jesus? So his name is Jesus. I said, how did Jesus? We say it in Spanish because it just, I don't know. It's not a word. It's not a name that I like to call anyone, except for one person, and that's our Lord Jesus. So I asked him, how did Jesus do? And he's like, well, he wasn't as fast as I would have liked him to be. He was, kind of, he was moving, but he wasn't moving as fast as I would like him to be. I said, okay. I said, was he receptive to the information that he was being given in the manager's meeting? And that's when Cody was like, you know what? He was just quiet. I said, yeah, I've noticed that about Jesus. It's like it takes him a little while to process the information. And then once he processes the information, and he can then make the adjustments that are needed. And he goes, yeah, I can see that. So today, Jesus was the manager, the night manager. He's the closing manager. And I already knew I wasn't going to get out of there before 7. Oh, because I didn't sleep very well last night. I had to pray several times for some things that Father has had me take responsibility over. And some of them are for me, some of them are not for me, they're for others. And I take it very seriously when the scripture says, if you do not speak the words that God gives you, their blood is on your hands. So when he was waking me up throughout the night, he was putting on my heart who I needed to pray for. And I did. I had to pray for a very young man, and his family is doing much better. And I know God is going to ensure that they stay safe. And then the next person I prayed for was my husband. And the last person I prayed for was myself. But not in the way that you think. So whenever God leads me to pray for myself, he doesn't say pray for you. He says pray for the people that are against you. And that's what I do. That's how come I never pray for myself, because I always pray for the individuals that are against me. You know, do I say, God, let your will be done in my life? Yes, I do. But that is not praying for myself. That is telling God, I accept whatever it is that you want me to do. And so I didn't sleep very much. And unlike most other times, God will give me the strength. He'll give me rest, even in a few hours. But I don't know, there was something just, I internally, it was like I was excited about something. And so today was an amazing day. Sunday was an amazing day, because I don't know what time it is right now. I'm still video recording, so I can't see the time. I have to tell you, when they say that when the grace of God, when the Holy Spirit is flowing, no one can resist blessing you. Everywhere I turned, someone was handing me money. It didn't matter how much it was. I never count it when I'm there, because it's not about the money. It's about, and today I felt, even though I was tired, my back hurt, my feet hurt, my head hurt, even though we were out of boxes and out of this, out of that, it didn't matter. Because I still wanted to show others what it is to serve. And so here I am now, and I have to back up. So before this particular individual came on site, I was keeping the tables clean, the dining room was clean. I was going out above and beyond, and taking care of people. Then the first group that came in was a birthday party, and I was over on top of it. Like, I got them this, I got them that, and I kept serving them and serving them. And the grandmother of the little girl whose birthday it was like, can you give me this? Can you give me that? Can you help me here? Can you help me there? And always with a smile. I'm like, of course I can. Of course. Anything you need. Okay, yes, I can get you that. Yes, I can do that. You need an extra bowl?